As we enter day 12 in the search for missing mother of two Nicola Bulley, many questions still remain unanswered. In this video, we're going to take a look at a recent newspaper article discussing some of those unanswered questions, and then I'm going to be sharing with you my own thoughts and opinions on the most recent press conference held by Lancashire Police. The Nicola Bulley investigation. 6 unanswered questions. The search for missing mum Nicola Bulley has now entered its 12th day, with still no real clues as to what has happened to the mother of two. Despite extensive searches of the river and surrounding area, no trace of the 45-year-old who was last seen walking her dog after the school run has been discovered. Her phone was left on a bench near the River Wyre in Lancashire, and her dog Willow was found nearby. Police officers said they are working on the theory that the 45-year-old, who has been described by friends as a strong swimmer, fell into the river. But that line of investigation has been questioned by friends and family. Lancashire Police has consistently said there are no signs of any third-party involvement in her disappearance. The mortgage advisor was last seen while walking Willow on Friday, January the 27th in the Lancashire village of St Michael's on Wyre. Nicola, known as Nikki, left her daughters aged 6 and 9 at school before heading to the towpath overlooking the River Wyre. A specialist water search team has been working on the river for the last 2 days, with expert Peter Faulding saying a number of things don't add up. Here are some of the unanswered questions. Number 1. The lack of CCTV. There were images of Nicola shared from her own doorbell camera that showed her packing up the car ready for the school run, but there is a lack of CCTV from the towpath area. The CCTV camera at a residential park on the upper field of the path had one camera not working. If it had been working, it would likely have been able to pick up what happened around the bench. Superintendent Sally Riley says, several exits of the riverside area have CCTV covering them, or exits are locked, and therefore couldn't have been passed through by Nicola. There's only a small area onto Garstang Lane toward the A586 which is not covered by CCTV, and that's why we're appealing today for dashcam footage or for people who may have been walking on Garstang Lane or driving in the area to come forward if they can. Question number 2. The 10 minutes not accounted for. Lancashire Police has said there are 10 minutes they cannot account for between the last sighting of Nicola at 9:10 am and 9:20 when Nicola's phone was found on a bench still connected to the work call she was on. Question 3. Why no one saw anything. Police have revealed that more than 700 drivers are being approached in the hope they can offer clues in the search. Police are speaking to hundreds who travelled through the town of St Michael's on Wyre around the time that Nicola went missing. A team of 40 detectives are currently investigating approximately 500 different lines of inquiry. At a press conference, Lancashire Police Superintendent Sally Riley said, "We have now identified around 700 vehicles that drove through the village on that morning on the 27th of January at around 9:10 to 9:15 am. We are in the process of speaking to all of those drivers to try to find out if they have any dashcam footage, what they saw on that day, or anything else that may be of value to the police inquiry." Point number 4. The question over the river. According to forensic search expert Peter Faulding, the part of the river where Nicola was last seen is not fast moving. He has described it as, quote, black murky water that can be difficult to see in. He told the Blackpool Gazette, "It's not a fast tidal river. It's around 2 or 3 metres deep, but there are a lot of shallows." Mr Faulding said he would have to check for any drains in the riverbed while rechecking all areas already probed by police, adding, quote, "You can search one day and the body can move down from another location, so everything has got to be rechecked." Superintendent Sally Riley, who is leading the investigation, described the river as a complex area to search. She told a press conference on Tuesday, "It is not a still water, it is a fast-flowing, moving water which is tidal in parts. This makes it particularly complex. We have already discounted particular areas of the river, but as they are tidal, we have researched them to make sure that nothing has been washed back into those search areas. We have 6 people searching the riverbanks every day. These are specially trained search officers who are systematically, methodically searching the riverbank and open ground. Question number 5. Why the area around the bench has not been cordoned off? Police reconfirmed on Tuesday that their belief remains that, quote, Nicola sadly fell into the river, and this is a missing person inquiry. Superintendent Riley said, "We believe Nicola remained in the riverside area." She added that the search was being extended out to the sea due to the nature of the river. Question number 6. Why the phone was left on a bench? When Nicola's phone was found on a bench near to where she was last seen, it was still dialed into a work call and was alongside her dog Willow's harness. Some people have suggested that she left it there to deal with something with the aim of coming back to it once it was over. Mr. Fording did say that the phone may have been left behind as a decoy by a third party involved in the disappearance. This comes after he noted that had she fallen in the water, her dog Willow, who was found at the scene, would have caused a disturbance. Okay, so yesterday I watched the most recent press conference, which was held by Lancashire Police and conducted by Superintendent Sally Riley, with the latest developments on the missing mother of two, Nicola Bulley. And what are my takeaways from that particular press conference? Well, it really does appear here that they are doubling down, tripling down on the case that Nicola Bulley fell into the river. They did mention that they are currently looking at 500 lines of inquiry, and they're currently looking for 700 motorists who would have passed a certain entry and exit point on her walk, and they've sent letters out to those drivers to try and obtain statements or dashcam footage from their vehicles. My biggest concern at this point in time is when we have these press conferences, we have Sally Riley appearing in these press conferences and using phrases such as, "We sadly believe that Nicola fell into the water," but then on the other hand, in another sentence, also saying, "We've identified 700 drivers who drove past an area which is not covered by CCTV." And the key word there is, we have identified. Identified. They haven't gone through all of these 700 drivers. They haven't checked all of the dashcam footage from these individuals. They haven't spoken with all of these individuals. They have identified 700 vehicles of interest in which they wish to then, investigate further. So this is a line of inquiry which has not been sealed off at this point in time. So how can you really say for certain that this lady fell into the water? I don't understand that. I do not understand what information they could possibly have to suggest she fell into that water. Bearing in mind, we're coming up to now nearly 2 weeks. 2 weeks since Nicola Bulley went missing. The feeling I also got from the press conference yesterday was that speculation outside of the investigation, as in online or anywhere else, is not required. Don't speculate online. Speculation isn't helpful. Don't think outside the box here. We believe she's in the river. We've got information to suggest that she's in the river that we're not going to share with you, and that's the end of it. Stop your speculating. Don't think of alternatives. We believe she's in the river. That's pretty much what I took from that press conference yesterday. My issue with that, however, is the fact that, as I said earlier, we're now nearing almost 2 weeks since this lady went missing. We're also looking at an investigation which in my mind seems to have been working backwards in some weird way. They've had a report of a missing woman. They've attended this scene. I'm not going to say scene of the crime because we don't know that at this point in time. But they've approached the scene where they believe that this lady went missing. Have they just seen these items on the bench, the phone, the harness nearby, and they've concluded, okay, she's fallen into the river? I mean, is that literally what has happened here? And they're doubling down, tripling down on this idea because it's how the investigation took off in the first place, which has ultimately decided its continual path, shall we say? Because usually you would attend the scene of the crime or this scene of a potential crime and you would take all necessary precautions. Why was this area not cordoned off in order to preserve potential evidence? It's also apparent at this point in time that the police have still not released any, and I mean any, CCTV footage of Nicola Bulley. I mean, do they even have any at this point in time? I mean, I know they released some still photographs, which I don't even think the police released. These were released by the friends of Nicola Bulley from the doorbell camera. Those still photographs that you've seen online, they are from the doorbell camera. They're not CCTV from the police. The police have not released anything officially regarding CCTV. I mean, surely they must have some CCTV of Nicola Bulley, either approaching her walk or leaving the school. But we've had nothing, which is really strange in a case like this in this country. Usually you get a multitude of different CCTV angles plastered in newspapers and on TV reports. But we've had absolutely nothing from the police in terms of CCTV surveillance. I also found it quite interesting last night when Peter Fording again appeared on TV and talked about the search for Nicola Bulley, and also the fact that he stated that he hadn't been given all of the information from the police concerning what they know about Nicola's disappearance, which I do find quite strange. And even Peter Fording himself said, usually when we work with the police, we have all of the information. Obviously, we can do a better job if we are in receipt of all the information that the police actually have. But they, by all accounts, haven't shared all of the information with this individual. I'm just going to read for you a very short newspaper article which has been released in the last couple of hours concerning what I've just spoken about there, and it states the following. Police say diving expert in Nicola Bulley search does not know all details of their investigation as he hits back at critics accusing him of ulterior motive, and vigilantes are told to stop breaking into properties looking for missing mother. The diving expert called in to help find Nicola Bulley does not know all of the details of the case, police have insisted, after he repeatedly spoke of a theory regarding a third-party involvement in her disappearance. Peter Fording, founder of Specialist Group International, SGI, told several news outlets that he does not believe the missing mother of two is in the River Wyre, despite it remaining the working theory of Lancashire police. Nicola vanished while walking her dog Willow along the riverbed on January the 27th, moments after dropping her two children off at school. She was last seen at 9:10 a.m. by a fellow dog walker, before her phone and her pup's harness were found on a bench nearby at 9:20 a.m. and the alarm was raised. It is during this 10-minute window that police maintain she fell into the water, while others, including some friends and Mr. Fording, have their doubts, which they have not hesitated to share. It comes as amateur detectives and vigilantes have been told to stop meddling in the case or face arrest, with some breaking into properties in a desperate bid to crack one of the biggest mysteries in recent memory. In a sign of tensions between police and Mr. Fording, Police Superintendent Sally Riley last night stressed that he was not party to all the details of their wider investigation. She said, quote, "Our search has not found Nicola in the river, and then a research in part by SGI has found the same. That does not mean that Nicola has not been in the river. In the light of other inquiries being discounted from the investigation so far, clearly our main belief is that Nicola did fall into the river. Clearly Mr. Fording isn't included within all the investigation detail any more than the members of the public are that I'm briefing through these sorts of press conferences." Mr. Fording later demanded that he be granted such access, adding, quote, "If there's any more facts that we don't know about, normally we work alongside of the police, and if you haven't got the facts then you can't conduct a proper search. It is very difficult without that information. Normally I'm privy to that information. It would be useful to know." It comes as police have extended the search for Nicola towards the sea, after still finding no concrete evidence she fell into the river, while a friend of the family, Heather Gibbons, was among the growing number to question their theory. It's natural for everyone to have speculation, because the truth is, in this, nothing is making sense. Anyway, please leave your own thoughts and theories regarding the investigation thus far down in the comments section below. If you have enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up and click the subscribe button below this video to be notified of future content releases. I look forward to seeing you all again for the next video. Take care.